So yeah, media narratives that the Canadians are currently playing into. Let's see. We got the can't score. And then we got the bad defensive core that everybody's been talking about all preseason. Hey everyone, it is Ben back again, and the Habs win! What are you still doing here? You were supposed to be gone!
Yes! Yes! Yeah!
Because if not, they're gonna get blown away.
The cannon. It just kept firing.
I am excited. Hello everybody, it is Ben back again, and this time the Habs lose again, the second in a row. This time against the New York Rangers of all teams, because I just fucking love losing to the Rangers. Actually, this game gave me some excitement at the beginning because we had them coming out. The Habs came out flying, shot after shot. They had all kinds of chances early in the first, and then shots. That's not gonna count. You literally just kicked it, and I can't really argue that one. Okay, well let's keep watching. The Habs are still doing well. They're still doing well, and then shot on by Weber, and then it banks in off a Rangers guy, goes in. Awesome, 1-0. It's the goal taken back and no goal for goalie interference on that play. Great. We're like 10 minutes in. Habs already have 2 disallowed goals. This can only go well and not have the Rangers just get a lucky goal that'll end up being the game-winning goal, won't it? Oh, that's right. It's the Canadians. Of course, after those first 2 disallowed goals, that air sort of seemed to come out of the Habs' sails a little bit. For the first period anyway, and the Rangers really came on. Price looked great in the first period going into the second, but the Rangers get the 1-0 goal with about 2.5 left in the minute, and of course that's the kind of goal they get. Brady Skjei, something like that, the S-K-J-E-I, that's somehow pronounced Shea. He banks it in off of our Shea Weber, and puts it in the net off what looked like it was just being passed to the crease, and then it just banked off Weber and win, and of course that's how the Rangers take the lead. Shots were 12-8 in favor of Montreal in the first, but we come into the second, and Lehkonen, who had been looking great all game, continues to look good in the second period. Lots and lots of chances, and again, I know I've been saying this like every game, but again, the Lehkonen, Plekanec, Udon line looked easily like the best last night, and it's just a matter of time before the pucks start going in for them because they've just gotten chance after chance every night, and it's just been silly, like the amount of times that it's not gone in. I expect that'll kind of turn around soon. And then on a shorthanded chance later in the period, Byron gets cross-checked into the boards by McDonough from about 4 or 5 feet out, and he somehow doesn't get called for boarding on it. But okay. And then as the second period goes on, Lundqvist starts giving me flashbacks of last year's playoffs with how freaking good he was just making saves. And it was starting to get annoying because I had just dealt with this the night before with Braden Holtby. We come out of the second with the Rangers only up by 1 still, leading 1-0. But the feeling was kind of like, Jesus Christ, are they ever going to get this like a little bit of a break to get a goal? It didn't feel like they were going to. We head into the third period, and okay. We just need to get 1. Just got to get 1 back in the game. That's not hard. It's a whole period. And then, oh look, Shaw gets cross-checked in the face. Now it's feeling even more like last year's playoffs because no call on that play. And eventually, a few minutes later, Mika Zibanejad giving me even more flashbacks of last year's playoffs because I was there when he scored the Game 5 OT winner last spring. But I'm not still bitter. No. Mika Zibanejad gets the goal after. Petrie gets it in behind the net and tries to wrap it around, but gets blocked by Buchnevich. Price still thinks the puck is going around to the other side of the net. His eyes follow what he thinks is where the puck is going to be, but the puck's still back here with Buchnevich. Passes it up to Zibanejad, and Zibanejad puts it in. Put the Rangers up 2-0 late in the game, and by then I was like, okay, yeah, we're done. But just to talk about it, because Habs don't go down without a fight. It lasts about 2.5 minutes. The goalie was pulled, and during it there were a few good chances, and there was one really promising thing that I saw was Claude Julien decided to throw Galchenyuk up to the top line, putting all of his best offensive players out there at once when, oh, look, we need goals, maybe throw our most creative offensive players out at once. Well, Julian's getting that a lot better than Terrian ever did. Didn't get the Habs anywhere because they didn't score anything, but that was still a promising sign in my mind. I was like, okay, that's something kind of good we can take out of that. But of course, the Habs ended up losing 2-0. Final shots were 34-25 in favor of Montreal. So let's start with the positives of this game. For one, Carey looks like his same self again after the anomaly that was that night in Washington, although part of that can just be contributed to the Habs hanging Price out to dry the other night in Washington, giving Ovechkin chances from his spot at the top of the faceoff circle. Not the best idea. But anyway, I move on. He looked great in last night's game, and hopefully he'll continue. He gave the Habs every chance they needed to win last night's game. They just couldn't. And like I said earlier, the Lehkonen, Plekanec, Hudon line, again, looked like the strongest line. I don't know if that's just me watching and seeing that they're just... It seems to me like they're creating the majority of the best offensive chances. That might just be me. I don't know what you guys think. But I actually did like what I kept seeing out of that line. I know it's getting a little repetitive because I've said it every night, but oh well. Another positive, Brandon Davidson actually looks like an NHL defenseman, which I couldn't have said about him during the preseason because he looked rough during the preseason. And I definitely couldn't have said about Mark Streit in the first 2 games he played, so Brandon Davidson coming out and looking good is great in my book. Hopefully David Schlemko, his hand will be all healed up and ready to go pretty soon because he'd be pretty useful right now. The defensive core is... Moving on to the negatives, because there were a few. The Habs now have 3 goals in 3 games. And have not yet led once in a hockey game so far in this regular season. So that's not great on a team that came into the season knowing that they would have scoring troubles. And then the defensive core looks a little like lost without a steady puck-moving defenseman back there to kind of direct things. Like if only there was like one of those kind of guys readily available last summer. Like was he just needed the money that a team still has open, but then like they wouldn't give it to him. So now maybe he's in like Russia or something. But like could still easily play at the NHL level. Like, is there one of those guys around? I don't know. But in all seriousness, the defensive core isn't in that bad of straits yet. I don't think. I hope. One thing I wouldn't mind seeing though is Jakub Jarabek coming up from the Rocket to Laval, because he's been really strong in his first few games there, and he's one of those kind of offensive make the breakout pass kind of defenders that we kind of need now, because there's a guy whose name starts with A that is gone now. Like, he did all that for the Habs for years and could still do it. But getting away from my extremely sarcastic and bitter Andrei Markov rant, maybe we should get Jarabek up to play. Otherwise, like, you know how we still have that $8 million of cap space just kind of lying around? Like, maybe looking to doing something with that? Just a thought. I don't know. I know I'm not an NHL GM, but... and all I know is the schedule is not getting any easier for the Habs, because up next we have the Chicago Blackhawks, who are tearing it up right now. And with the way the Habs have been playing the last couple games, it could be ugly. But here's to hoping for the best, because I don't want this season to go the way it seems to be going right now. Anyway, until next time, I'll see you guys later.